Ground Zero didn't start super strong, but when they awoke, boy, they were ready to embrace the day. And unfortunately, Mammoth were on the other side of the rift. But what a start from Mammoth. You know, that little roster swap looking real damn good for the early phases of the first game here, guys.
It is, yeah. I mean, ultimately, I was completely caught off guard by the fact that Mammoth played as convincingly as they did in the first, 10 minutes. To be 3-0, to get first blood, to get first control of the objective, knowing it was going to be very obvious that that was what the brand was playing for.
Yeah.
And then the bot lane got as far ahead as it did with that sort of Aphelios pairing. But I think as soon as they've managed to burn the flesh of the Aphelios, then there's a little bit of desperation around the Baron. The Baron got a bit baited in back-to-back fights and both teams starting things up. That's really when the sort of shift in the game really happened, and then Ground Zero sort of took the reins again.
I'm really happy that they started to show a few more signs of life, because the way that a few people, you know, were expecting this way to go was just an absolute dumpstering from GZ. But it was good to see that there were signs of life from Mammoth. Draft-wise, though, Fido, were you happy with how that came out, how it all played out for GZ? You said you're a little bit iffy on that Zac, or didn't really know the matchup with that Zac up top. Were you happy with how that played into the UD?
I mean, in theory, it seemed like Ground Zero had 2 winning lanes, and we saw glimpses of that, right? With the set solo kills in mid lane, catching Dajong off guard. Kisse, absolutely exceptional performance by him, but at the same time, the Zac top didn't work out quite well. Of course, he still gets the win, but Udyr became the oppressive monster we expect him to be.
I'm still not as familiar with new Udyr as I am with old Udyr, because I've only played it like once or twice since they made that remake come through. But what's broken about him at the moment? Because I'm hearing his name thrown around a lot when I'm tuning into the LCO.
Well, he just builds tank items, and he one-shots your carry. So those 2 words should not be in the same sentence.
Yeah.
But they are with K'Sante and Udyr. Those are the 2 exceptions in League of Legends.
He's crazy at level 1 as well, right? We saw an occasion there where he just walks up to Tien, takes half his HP bar for free. But we've also seen where junglers have received a level 1 gank from an Udyr. And completely had their jungle path screwed up. They've even died level 1 because of the pressure. I mean, it's a very annoying champ to deal with. Okay,
and is his damage source still predominantly AP with the meta build right now? Okay, so do you think there was maybe an issue with the double AP top side, or?
I think it was okay because they had that AD threat in the mid lane of the Yone and the Aphelios, and they actually got off to a pretty good start. Yeah. I think this game just honestly, I bought into the Cinderella story. Like, I genuinely thought that they were going to win, and I was trying to come up with ways the Mammoth can win the game. And then at some point, I just look and I just see the Nexus towers are exploding. I'm like, how do we get here, guys? Like, we were in a winning position 5 minutes ago, and now we've just lost.
Yeah.
GZ macro game just that little bit better, I guess. You know, making sure that they're taking every W when the L's were copped. And that's how you play League of Legends, or at least that's the way I've learned that competitive League of Legends is played, right? If you're losing somewhere, find a little W somewhere else on the map, and that W was in a couple of the other lanes.
I think, knowing how we used to cast together, Mac, it was a case of saying, I don't know these champions. Where is Rammus? Where is Shyvana? And then we had a Shyvana game, and you were like, bring me on the cast, boys. What am I doing here anymore?
Where's Shyvana, huh? Did Shyvana get a rework?
Kind of, depending how long ago you played.
I think it's still the same as when you last here. Yeah, I don't think anything's changed too much.
Good. I like that, Shyvana. Now, what would you suggest, or what would you expect to change with the sides, of course, swapping? You got to remember, going into Game 2, GZ are going to be on that blue side, so they're going to put some priority on some different champs. What champs do you think they're going to pull out?
I mean, they got the win, right? So, but I do think they got the win because of the individual class of the players, like the game knowledge. Maybe address this Udyr finally for the 4th game. Maybe we just ban it, or you know, like Zac did not look convincing. Like, sure, Tien had the moment where he jumped on Aphelios mid, right, and he got the kill because the AD had no flash, but you could do that on a lot of other champs, right? And not lose your lane that hard to Udyr. So maybe ban Udyr, or maybe keep experimenting. Maybe they got another pick, right? This is a pretty comfortable, low-pressure game from them. Maybe they pull out something different.
Okay, what about you, Skimmy? Any thoughts on what we're going to see moving into that second PB?
Yeah, I think I'm sort of aligned with you in terms of this Udyr. It's been twice now that I don't want to say it's like an ego to not ban it, but the first time it was a case of let's pick the Rumble into it, went 1 and 6. This time here it was a case of kind of losing the lane and got a little bit bailed out by the team fights and sort of the late game for Ground Zero. What else could they try in the top lane? Yeah, maybe Darius is an example of something else that we could get a little bit excited for. We've certainly seen people discuss that one.
Yeah.
Maybe Olaf. I mean, I'm trying to get like really creative here. What would Tien do? Olaf, Lilia, yeah, maybe even like Vayne. Like, there's definitely angles in which you can try and be a little bit crazy, but it's whether or not the coaching staff give the reins to Tien to say the comp's built around you. I feel like in recent weeks it's been very much like you're there to fill a role, and sort of the carry threats come from the likes of, say, yeah, Lemus or Kisse.
Okay. Well, we have from the fans again to have a quick look at for you guys. You've sent heaps in, which we love you for, and we're going to need more of them because we got to fill this up all week. Please, and I'm here all week, so make my job easy. Give us plenty of this, just in case Tajong's internet crashes. It didn't that game. How good? Touch wood.
We had good luck.
Sorry, I've cursed it on purpose.
Touch.
Let's have a look at what you guys have sent in. What got you into League of Legends? My high school friend who's doing uni in another city, he quit after 1 month but got me addicted for the next 13 years. Yeah, that sounds similar to me getting into some other games where your mate's like, oh, come play this with me. And then you do that. And then you buy a whole Xbox 360 to play Call of Duty for however many years. That was... Yep. And
Isn't
then they
this
go
the
on
most
and have
common
normal
thing?
engineering lives. Huh?
I swear it's the most common thing, right? Because games are always so much more fun with friends, especially new games where you're already on the fence, like you're already a little bit interested, but you're like, oh, I don't want to do this all on my own. I don't want to do like the discovering and like figuring it all out. So you play with your friends, and then after a month, you've like, oh, this is kind of fun. I'm kind of enjoying it. And then you realize it's a problem when you're actually having fun playing it on your own. Even when your friends aren't on, you're like, yeah, I'm addicted.
I think the problem starts when you stop having fun playing on your own, but you still do it anyway.
Oh, it's a habit.
Yeah. If you're having fun, then it's actually not a problem. You know? That's the... get your mental... Thank you, Calvin, for that one. Do we have any more to have a quick look at? Let's have a look here. What do we got? Refury, old mate, huh? How's he doing? Seen his head around the ground. My dad needed a support to duo with. Oh, that's
awesome.
great. That's cool. Father-son gameplay.
That's cool. I wonder how that works though. Like, because obviously we know that people can get pretty toxic in this game. So like, how does that work with your family dynamic? Are you like, Dad, what the hell was that? Or is it like some kind of like respect boundary of like, oh well, mate, you tried. You didn't carry me 1v5 like double lift that game, but that's all right. You know.
Well, that's like, did Refury actually play support, or did he play to support his dad? You know what I mean? Like, was he playing ADC? You know, got to try to process all that, because if Refury is playing support, his dad's just, you know, like, I've just got to carry, mate. I've got to carry. You just got to do this, and I'll tell you what to do.
This is a PSA moment, Mac, where you like you talk into the camera like this and be like, Refury, tag me, tell me what is the context, what is the story. We need the conclusion.
We need many conclusions.
We need the answers.
We need carrots and plush toys and dogs invading the broadcast, which I'm all about. Do we have a third one? Let's have a look at someone else's answer. Refury, thanks for that. That was wholesome. We love some family-esque moments. Papa Pike, another familiar name in the community. Thank you for your submission. My high school mates. The cheeky buggers got me hooked. Season 3, then bailed, and now I'm the best. Still love those guys. There you go. Lovely. Gotta love it. And it feels like that's a common trend. If your friends get you into something and then they're like, I don't really like it anymore. And then you make that game your life for the next 10 years and they move on and become policemen and other things. Don't talk to me about this.
This sounding way too personal now. You're like, yeah, I'm just going to take this as like a moment for a little bit of like on-screen therapy, guys. Yeah.
Yep, I'm a big nerd. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, get your Twitch votes in for the next game, of course, up here somewhere. Buddy, boom. Put your Jin gameplay. Put your bang. Oh, bam, up there somewhere. Gamba, get your Twitch points in. Let us know how you think this is going to go. And then after the break, we got the second game coming through with GZ on blue. We'll see you in a minute.
You probably thinking that I'm playing though. I wanna prove you dead wrong. Yeah. Baby, you give me something special. The type of thing that you won't let go. Oh, and when I'm with you, girl, I'm with you all night. Know what I give you, girl, give you what you like, yeah. Don't gotta ask, baby, you know it's on sight. You know it's on sight, you know it's on sight, yeah. I got a whole lot of questions for you. How do you want it and how long to? I wanna love you, girl, yes I do, yes I do. Yes, your town, girl, it's all about us. Ain't going halfway, give you all of my love. Give you anything, girl, cause there's no rush. You know I got a thing for ya. I would do anything for ya. But I'll always have a place for ya. You love it when I say your name for ya. They don't compare, they always changing up, changing up. Trying their best, but no, it's not enough, not enough. You forget them people when I call you up, I call you up. You just want someone that's strong enough, strong enough. Oh, 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 yeah, yeah. You probably thinking that I'm playing though. I wanna prove you dead wrong. Yeah, yeah. Baby, you give me something special. The type of thing that you won't let go. Oh, and when I'm with you, girl, I'm with you all night. Know what I give you, girl, I give you what you like. Yeah, don't gotta ask, baby, you know it's on sight. You know it's on sight. You know it's on sight, yeah. I got a whole lot of questions for you. How do you want it and how long to? I wanna love you, girl, yes I do, yes I do.
Here's the reason that Kevy's after becomes the Varus. Full stand on the stopwatch, it's carnage! They're all charged at his command! Oh, kaboom! It's do or die! Let's jump back in then to game number 2. It was a bit of a topsy-turvy affair, wasn't it, fight on that first one, right? We had an early game that kind of defied all expectations, and then it sort of hit that break point where Baron spawned at 20 minutes. Both teams decided who decides to try and bait it a little bit harder.
Yeah, look, it was a back and forth game, and had me convinced the Mammoth were in there with a real chance to win, but
Yep.
unfortunately not working out in the end, ending very, very quickly, not how you'd expect a close game to go.
No, and I think now we're sort of asking the expectations of what could actually change in game 2, because 92% of you thought that was going to be a Grand Zero victory. Ultimately it was, but maybe not as convincingly as we would have expected otherwise, right? So now they get the chance to play blue side themselves. And I think the big theme that we were saying is please ban away this Udyr. But the question becomes, if you're on blue side, why not just pick it yourself?
Well, that's what I'm thinking, Skimmy. You know, Ground Zero have had multiple blue side games where they just kind of ignore the Udyr. Maybe it's something that's driven by their scrims. Maybe they've tried it in scrims and they've had some really strong picks against it, and they didn't have a lot of success. But yeah, like you said, I mean, they've tried the Na. The TN's picked the Na, counter pick into it. He's picked Zach, counter pick into it. He's picked Rumble to him, counter pick into it. And all 3 times it hasn't worked out. So at what point do you just, you know, call it quits and just stop trying to figure out a solution and just spend a ban on it?
Yeah, ban it until it gets banned out of the meta by the blessed old Riot Games,
Yeah.
hitting him with the nerf ban and say, ah, that's one more ban that we now get to utilize in this drafting phase. Well, we'll see if that one does get let through or not. As it stands, Nico being the biggest adjustment from game 1, didn't see that at all, but we've also got the Milio ban now, making sure that Aster can't empower Duck as much as they had in that early game.
Yeah, we sure do. Mammoth must have watched the Bliss game where Violet went absolutely crazy with the Ashe, and Ground Zero, love that, love that. Give us some of that new patch, the gameplay, the new champions, the Karma Flex first pick. That makes perfect sense. It's a flex champion, so strong in this patch, and both their players can pilot it well.
Certainly can. It's always an interesting point, though, when you hear the enchanters coming into the meta and going back into the mid lane, especially when you've got flashy players. You think, doesn't it feel like such a waste to put these players on these champions? But when it's that broken, you would be strange not to utilize it. The response instantly from Mammoth then is lock in the Varus. No reason not to. Still the premier AD carry on this go-to patch. The pairing with it, though, becomes interesting. Do you decide to lock on a jungler here now, or do you just instantly reveal your bot lane, knowing that the Karma can still be flexed?
Ooh, it's a tough call, Skimmy. We'll have to see what Mammoth do. Maybe they're going for the Rel flex, potentially, but Yeah, Rel bought into Karma. Not sure how that goes, but I think Karma's more than happy to just press a shield and run away from the Rel engage. So we'll see if this is a Guro champ or an Asta champ a little bit later on in the draft. But Ground Zero say Ezreal's been buffed,
Nice.
Karma's been buffed. Let's lock them both in.
All the champions we wanted to see for this brand new patch are seeing daylight. And it's exciting because especially an Ezreal Karma bot lane is pretty annoying to deal with. If that were to be the matchup and that be the assignment, so much poke, so much harassment. It really frees it up for the Karma to rotate and roam and be that sort of difference maker in, say, mid lane.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I would really love to see Ground Zero just play at least one Udyr game, because you have to actually show that you can play the champion, right? To bait out bans and make drafting in the future games easier for yourself, but not to be in this game. They've locked in the Cassante, also a great choice, and a pretty stable lane into Udyr if Mammoth are looking to snag it away on R3.
But I can't really consider the sign. Now, they hobbled it a fair bit last game as well, and I'm wondering where the viability would be for this one. Now, we've certainly seen it be utilized in the mid lane. We've obviously heard of Setter and Sign as a bot lane pairing before, but with Varus up and available or locked in, as you can see already, then it would seem very unlikely. Ultimately, feels like Nectar's going back to what it is true and trusted. If it's not the Gwen, then it's the Gnar.
Yeah, but why not the Gwen skimmy? Is it just the Karma speed up and the Ezreal E that are straying him away from this champion? Because we saw him pick it 3 games in a row and he looked fantastic every single time. Cassante, one of the best matchups you can get as a Gwen, right? Playing into a tank, so you'd think that he'd be comfortable just maybe playing side lane, right? If you can't attack the bot side on mid, you just stick to that split bush Gwen, maybe build some split bush items. You've got a comfortable matchup, but not to be. Chooses the Gnar, more of a team fight threat. Definitely makes sense. The theme is the same with Rel and Varus, great teamfight champions. And we got a Vlad ban coming out, which is unheard of. I have not seen this champion in ages.
Yeah. Very left field, isn't it? It's just completely stuns you. I can understand that because it's not a champion that we see too commonly these days. And for good reason too. Also the Aurelia ban coming out. I mean, these are very niche bans, really targeting the fact that we're not convinced that this Cassante is going top.
Oh, that's right, Skimmy. That's why. They're convinced that the TN has some counter picks cooked up in the top lane. This must be both top-oriented bans. They think that Kisei can flex the Cassante, which is absolutely true. We have seen him play many a times. And Ground Zero are just banning engaged champs. They banned the Nautilus and they banned the Akali, which Dojong is very proficient on. Yeah,
certainly when he's not got his hands on the Zoe, then the Akali comes to mind as well. So I don't mind these bans. It's definitely giving us a bit of an insight into a welcome addition. Flex upon flex into mind games as to what are the bans, what are the picks, and at which point do we want to reveal them? Well, the grand reveal has obviously come out from Mammoth here as to where things are all looking to land. You've got the Gnar for the engage, you've got triple AoE wombo ult. So why not add another one? Add a Rakan into the mix as well.
Yeah, they've just all in the engage bucket. They're all going engage. Benvi doesn't seem too happy with that champion lock-in. Yeah, Mammoth, they've got the same theme for all their champions, and Ground Zero pick disengage. So we've got disengage versus engage.
Basically, isn't it? With the Azir locked in, you just shove them all away, and if that's not worked in your favor, then maybe the Bard is the icing on their cake. You all jump in, hit a Tempered Fate, and sort of look to laugh as a result. But it wouldn't be a TN game without a Poppy, would it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's another TN Poppy game. He looked pretty good on it last time he played it. Very happy to see him back. Oh no, that's not a TN Poppy. That is a Poppy Jungle. Poppy Jungle. You baited me out there, Skimmy. TN is playing Cassante in this game. We've got flexes all around. So there we go. And Mammoth, let's see what they go. Will they pick range? I don't think you should really pick range into Ezreal Azir. These champions are pretty hard to beat with range, and perfect Mammoth. You know, they've locked the tried and true Zoe for Dajong. They've got strong picks all around. They're going to be diving, and Ground Zero is going to be playing on the back foot.
We certainly are. And this is a spicy draft, isn't it, in terms of the amount of CC available from one side into the respect and understanding as to, okay, we've got Poke, we've got Harass, we've got the ability to run away with the Karma buffing up the entire team. So it almost feels like the onus is on Mammoth saying we have a strong lead in the early game. How do they face check us? How do they actually do anything? Because there's always the growing threat that if we group up for an objective like the Baron, like we did in that first game, we have so many tools that if this Poppy isn't 100% on point, we can just run riot here.
Yeah, 100%. But I do think Ground Zero have just picked very strong champions in every role. I would say one of the best champions in each role, you know, S-tier picks. Whereas Mammoth, they picked kind of a lot of viable champions, but maybe not the best in their respective rights. Very execution-based. So you'd have to favor Ground Zero in terms of simplicity of the draft. All they have to do is just kite back, not get engaged on. That's the name of the game. But the thing is, if you're a weaker team like Mammoth, what you want to pick in these drafts is CC, right? It's to make the turns, make the engage angles easier. We saw that game 1 was lost at the Baron because they had 2 turn tools. It was Sejuani and Yon. They both missed, and that was that. It's done. It's a done deal. But here they have 5. So hopefully they have a bit more success in this game.
Yeah, it seems to be that you just overload the amount of CC that you have, that even if somebody whiffs, you've got the backup, you've got the ability to overlap and not really be too concerned about any of that being wasted, because by the time somebody's been stunned, they're most likely going to come falling on down as a result. So it does seem certainly a case of Mammoth preparing a red side draft to say we want to really be on the front foot here and yeah, sort of continue the steam that projected us into such a strong position in those first 15.
Yeah, they've got a backup on top of a backup on top of another backup. So really, you can't go wrong with this draft. If somebody steps out of position on ground 0, they will be going down, being rooted and stunned in place for a very long time. And we'll take a look at the lineups once again. This game, I'm looking at the mid lane. Dajong on his best champion against Kisei, who's also prolific as Zia. He's picked this champion many a times, but the biggest thing in this game for me, Skimmy, is that Zoe has a lot more playmaking abilities in the early game than Yon.
So he does. So let's see then what can be accomplished with this pocket pick. A welcome addition back into the roster here for Dajong on that coveted champion, one that we've hyped up time and time again. But can it really do battle with what is becoming stronger and stronger in the meta? It is a brand new bot lane pairing, one that's been seen before, but not for a hot minute, with Ezreal and Karma coming out to give us so much harass, so much so that it might just keep Aster at harm's bay.
Yeah, and I guess we've got the Lethality Varus coming out again, which is something Duck1 has already played twice this season to little success, but he has looked individually quite good on it. And if you just think about the pairings, you know, you've got the Rel ult, which you can't really dash out of, right? If that hits you, the Varus poke hits you, the Zoe Q hits you. If the Zoe bubble hits you, then the Varus poke hits you. So they've got a lot of this sort of CC lair for the poke abilities to land. But the front to back, just in terms of hitting the tanks, is going to be a little bit difficult for Mammoth to pull off.
Well, that's what I'll sort of explore with you now, right? We talk about the redundancy that Mammoth have with the amount of CC to layer things over and not be too concerned about layering it perfectly. But in terms of their game plan, is it as simple as saying their only option is to be aggressive, is to be ahead? Because if they do fall behind, what really takes place then?
Well, it will be a quick defeat, Skimmy, if they fall behind with this draft, just because Zoe, not the best wave clear champ, kind of has to put herself in harm's way, right, with the ult Q. Azir can definitely look to poke, Ezreal can look to poke, sort of when she ults in to try and clear the wave on base sieges. And I think most importantly in this game, Dajong has run Ignite, Skimmy, so if he makes a mistake in this lane, there's no second chances, there's no way to TP back. If he dies early, really, that's going to be a wave or 2 lost straight away, big XP lead, and yeah, we're going to see what can get done with the Ignite mid.
Yeah, we've seen this a few times now, haven't we? From mid laners as well as top laners looking to try and really snowball the game, and it hasn't always been the most reliable. Either the Ignite's never been used during that laning phase, or never an opportunity has actually presented itself to be aggressive, to force that Ignite to come out to play. So TP's definitely still going to be the default choice for a lot of these champions as we jump into a quick pause here. No idea what it is at this stage. No doubt we'll get an update in just a second. We can always take the Mac approach and say it's probably those damn hotspots coming to effect once more.
Yeah, absolutely. But if I pull up the stats here, Skimmy, we've only had 1 Ignite mid, I think, this split in the LCO, and that was on Rhea Fury Akshan, and that's a 100% win rate. So according to that, Mammoth should be winning this game with an Ignite Zoe if the trend continues.
Yes.
So if nothing else, that's definitely going for them.
You certainly can't argue with a sample size of 1 out of 1. 100% from that, it sounds perfect. Sounds too good to be true, even. So I'm not going to be too caught off guard if things were to go that way. Well, how much Zoe have you played recently? Because obviously with the Storm Surge nerfs coming into effect, that would obviously upset the build that Zoe would go for. Is it just as simple as saying, just build the Lich Bane and win?
Yeah, it's as simple as that. Skimmy, build the Lich Bane and win. I have not played much Zoe myself recently, and I have not seen much Zoe in solo queue, which is a surprise. I think it's just people take a little bit of time to adjust. Most people are still rushing Storm Surge on their champions, and they're still picking kind of Storm Surge-esque champions instead of picking, you know, Lich Bane favorite champions who go back in the game. Skimmy, mid lane laning phase, cozy, druzy, very slow, no HP trading, which is quite surprising. Like we said, I think in the Akshan game, you know, Akshan did not use that Ignite early to get a lead, and his enemy just ended up TPing back and getting an XP advantage. We'll see if Dajong can put it to good use, but Shermfire posturing for a bot dive.
Yeah, this is the old Fire that we've come to know and love. Finally looking towards that bot lane. Not going to find the stun against the tower. The angle was just a little bit askew, but certainly enough to make Duck feel the pressure. He didn't burn any summoners, but he's going to get completely zoned from this wave.
Okay, early heal burnt, trying to get the full value, not risk getting ignited, and Shermfire with a drive by a race car. Shermfire is in the backlines now. He's been ignited. It's a little bit of a back and forth. Duck one definitely dropping CS, and maybe just poor pathing from Guro, right? Guro is not playing a champion that can punish this type of play by splitting the map. You know, it's a rel jungle. He doesn't need gold. It's there to crowd control and to speed you up. And yeah, I think that's a fundamental error from Guro to not path down and cover this dive for Duck one.
Yeah, it does seem like a bit of an oversight, right? Given how well equipped Durell is to try and prevent dives like that taking place, especially knowing you're into that kind of play with the playstyle like Shermfire has. But I think to Mammoth's credit, they played that as best as you probably could, right? You see Shermfire make the predictable play. The bot lane of Limes is just going to try and push that wave in as quickly as they can. But Duck just says, why don't we just turn and maybe get the kill on Poppy?
Yeah, I think that was they played that about as well as he could. I mean, the only way it goes better is if they get the Poppy flash or if they get the Poppy kill even. But most importantly, he didn't blow his flash there, right? Yes, he gave up a bunch of minions. Yes, this lane is going to be very hard, but he still has the flash. So on the next spawn of the bot camps for Poppy, when she's bot side again, tries to go for that same route, he can at least try and outplay it with his flash.
Certainly can, and it's going to need it, especially because we know as far as Ezreal lanes go, they tend to have cheap item spikes and tend to spike pretty early on into the game. So it could be a bit of a stabilizing factor to make sure that Mammoth don't run away with this game, because here comes Bendy roaming up an absolute treat, hits the binding, that gets put to sleep, and both members got a bit of CC, but walk away.
Yeah, I'm surprised that did very little damage there on the Karma Q. Not sure if he cast it while still exhausted, because the Karmas in my games, when they Q me in solo queue scheme, I lose half my health, and that barely tickled Da Zhang. So must have been just awkward timing there on the exhaust for Benvi. But yeah, Da Zhang gets away with a bit of a scare, loses his flash, which is dangerous into Azir, but not as bad on Zoe, because you can actually buffer the Emperor's Divide with your ultimate if you time it right.
Yeah, it's all about those pixel-perfect moments, isn't it? The ability to try and jump out of harm's way. We'll see if that interaction takes place. We're having a quick overlook of some of the stats that Kisse had on this champion already. You can see the last time he played it. Managed to get a perfect game with 7 kills to his name. No doubt will be looking to try and emulate that once more. As Nectar would plant a nice ward in the bush. Really denied Tien from getting that reset he was hoping for. And we'll actually have to burn that TP now.
Yeah, a bit of a disrespectful, recall there from Tien. Not sure what he was expecting, but still ends up getting the base off. Unfortunately, he's going to have a lot less gold to spend, but yeah, look, it's the same thing. Deja vu. 2 minutes have passed. Shermfire's bot side. He's going for the same dive again.
Certainly is. Trying it again, and this time the stun will connect. This time Ducky's in trouble, but he still survives. It's crazy. You can burn all this man's summoners, but he lives. He'll be zoned. He'll be in pain, but he lives.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, isn't it? And Nectar burning his TP very early. They still don't have a ward behind them, so they can't see that Shermfire is sticking around. This play is on a timer.
Hex Flash into one target. It was always going to be the kill onto Dark, and it always is the one to get confirmed. First blood comes out. Asta in trouble. Guro resetting and deploying back to bot lane. They'll find a stun, but we know Rel has 0 damage. The stun and the CC is all that will take place.
Yeah, and some of the CC didn't land there as well, Skimmy. I think maybe if you look to flash on the Poppy straight away, I'm not sure what the cooldowns were like if she had the steadfast presence to interrupt him, but there was potential to get a kill there. It wouldn't have really made any difference if Rel gets a kill on Poppy, so opts into holding his flash there. But a successful dive for Shermfire. He's been spending 90% of his time around this bot lane, and finally he gets a little bit of gold as a reward for it. Yeah,
and the complete 180 from last game, right? As the brand, you're going to be farming up an absolute treat, get those items as quickly as you can, become, in essence, stronger than your laners. But this time it's all about, I need to gank, I need to CC, I need to get this game going the way that we want. There is the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, but still, buffered out the Emperor's Divide. Dajong is running, he's very quick right now, but in goes the all-out mode from Tien, making sure that he can try and get this kill. Dashing through Guro, ignores him. Straight 1v2, and enough to force out a flash.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there for Dajong, because he does have his ult there. Like, you just need to be, if you're a Zoe OTP, right? Like, or you were a Zoe OTP back in the day, you'd expect him to be able to react to the zero ult and actually buffer it, not get knocked away, and you see the dive again. Shermfire just clinical, no flash on the Varus, goes over the wall, gets the kill, and yeah, here I think Guro, if he landed that ability, if he has to flash for it, sure, but there's no heal. There's no heal for Karma or Ezreal, so I think there was a chance for a return kill back. He does have a big CS lead right now, skimming about 20 in the jungle. But really doesn't make a difference if you're playing Rel into Poppy.
No, it certainly doesn't really make too much of a difference when both are
Bubble.
in essence, at
No
the end of the
flash.
day, it's just utility junglers. In goes the damage, and not enough to one-shot, but certainly enough to keep a tank low. As Shown is forced back into his own jungle, 50% of his HP chunked off. And that's even before full items completed.
Yeah, I think you can tell that Gudo is very inexperienced on Rel here, just the way that he's playing, right? There's now 2 opportunities to get kills. If he just pulls the trigger straight away with the flash, there's a good chance to get it. Sure, he might get away, but really playing a little bit too safe, and I don't think you can beat a team that is better than you by playing safe, Skimmy.
You certainly can't. It definitely feels like a bit of a slow bleed out when that happens, right? Where you've given all the control over to your opposition. They get to do as they please, which is exactly what we're seeing right now. Relentlessly targeting the spot lane, and there's no way to bail them out. I mean, we're talking about CS leads in the jungle. Look at bot lane. It's only getting worse.
Yeah, and that's just the problem of starting bot side when you know your bot lane's going to get dived, right? It's not just the first clear, it's the second clear, and the third clear, and every clear after that. You know, you end up being on the wrong side of the map when Shenfai is bot, and you either giving up camps or you're just arriving late to the play.
This is very much the early game that we've come to know from Ground Zero, up by 1,000 gold at this stage. Shenfai doing the dragon, but it does look to be spotted out here by Gudo. It's just lurking in the shadows right now, not going to reveal his position. So just waiting to see what Ground Zero's next move would be. So he'll go for the Gromp instead, but looks like first dragon is going to be easily secured. There should be a fair bit of money for the spot lane to try and cash in.
Yeah, and we'll see where Mammoth take it next. I mean, the Void Grubs are about to respawn on the top side, and we'll see if they opt to contest that. They do have a winning top matchup, right? Nectar, even though Tien got that 1 kill, still having a lot of success. I say that, Skimmy.
Yeah, you say that, and they're going to go for a bit of a cheeky 1v1. All-out mode just simply gets jumped away from, as simple as that is. Out goes the Trouble Bubble, but it hits the wall instead. That would have been enough to try and cause any real panic from the Ground Zero camp, but certainly it's warning shots.
Yeah, a lot of action in the mid lane, but no kills to speak of. Dajong definitely on the receiving end of the harassment, down 25 CS in this matchup, and like we said, Skimmy, as the Ignite champion, if you don't use that Ignite in the first couple of levels, really, the enemy just TPs in and your game kind of ends. Shenfire starting up the Grubs camp. Should be no contest because of Dajong's position. His HP is quite low, but Gudo's still going for it.
Yeah, I mean, Benvi's just walking into enemy territory without a single concern in the world. Drops the Q, keeps them zoned away. They'll pick up 1, they'll knock back a 2nd, and they'll say, well, these Void Grubs aren't going to be given across for free. We are going to put up a bit of a fight for this one. Going to at least take 1 away. Shen would love to try and get 5 stacks.
Yeah, but that's just the 1, Skimmy, right? They can still get 5 on Ground Zero, so we'll see what the decision is here. They do have 5 people. They're bleeding so much gold bot side. They have to take this fight, Mammoth.
They have to take the fight, and they have to win it. In they go to start things off with Dajong. They're going to try and snipe people on the back end, but can't find it just yet. But next to the Boomerang takes down Shen. There is Duck getting his kill contribution, trying to equal out what is looking like a bad situation bot lane. Shove away 2 goes the Empress Divide. Kissing flashing across the wall. Blast Cone to disengage. And now Dajong gets to run them down. It's Skill Shot Simulator, and he's hitting them! I don't think he even knows how that happened. I mean, ultimately, Benvi's flashed into his own demise.
That was just think you saw Benvi rubbing the back of his head there. He's a little bit flustered. A classic, you know, that's the kind of play that you get a lot of missing pings for in solo queue, where you flash into the skill shot.
It's 5v
we'll see how this works. Yeah, it's 5v4. Not sure what Ground Zero are doing. Mammoth very hesitant to engage. If they just pull the trigger before Rakan gets to 1 HP, this is a completely winning fight for them. I mean, it's a 5v4. You can't argue with numbers, Skimmy, and they do walk away with a couple of kills, but just too much time wasted on bot side. Lima's got so much gold, so many plates. We'll see exactly how many plates he ends up getting. And here, Dajong with a predict bubble onto Benvi. Sheesh! That was crazy. Absolutely love that.
That really is one of those montage clips, isn't it? Like, yeah, mate, I always knew he was going to make that play. He had nowhere else to go. You just claim all the credit for that one. But you're absolutely right. And it almost seems, when we're watching that replay, that Mammoth were a little bit reluctant to go all in because they're kind of waiting for the Zoe poke to land. And whilst those skill shots are all coming out, nothing was connecting.
Yeah, I think the poke is there, right? But we also need to have the turn tools. And the turn tool there is Rakan. If Rel is hitting the Void Grubs, it's Rakan and Rel. And, you know, one of them just needs to be decisive enough to pull the trigger faster before they lose all of their HP. And it's still a favorable fight for Mammoth. You know, they claw back a little bit of the gold lead, still behind Gudo.
Yeah, he's found his target. Get put to sleep now. What are you going to try and do to get out of this situation, Kiste? Because you're being zapped, you're being popped, you're being dragged down low. He's going to try and fight his way out of adversity. Nearly takes down Darjing in the 1v2 gank. But will fall on down.
Yeah, that was very, very confident from Guro there. Not using his ultimate, not using his smite for some extra damage. Just thinking they can get the kill. Duck 1 is dead again.
Chain of Corruptions and Duck is dead, as you say. Shernfire literally just flashes on his head and makes sure that he has no chance to try and run away from that one. Asta going to jump it in. Proc and Ignite. Benby hits the shield and says, please, this is enough mitigation. It certainly is not. Supports taking out each other. As the fade away from Limus is not enough to catch out Asta.
Darjing?
And then Darjing says, what can I find?
I think if he didn't ult there, if he just threw the bubble, right, it was pretty much undodgeable for Shernfire, but it is what it is. They didn't get that kill, but this is what Ground Zero are really, really good at, Skimmy. It's the trades on the map, you know. Limus just confidently taking as much as he can while that Rift Grubs play was going on, and right here is the same thing, you know. Kiste is in trouble. He's not calling resources for himself. He's saying, guys, I'm dead mid, they're mid. And Ground Zero immediately make a play on the other side. Let's look at the replay. Skimmy, we've got Shernfire, kind of easy, just flash E, gets the kill onto Duck 1. Nowhere for the Varus to go, and here Asta again, just a little bit of inexperience, you know, stage fright, not thinking about the abilities of the enemy, just thinking about himself. If he just walked with Bendy there, get an extra auto. Oh, he actually did get the kill. Wow, okay. They went through the shield, so they do get a 1-for-1, so that's not a bad sequence for Mammoth. They get 2 kills for 1, they lose the tower, I think, though the tower is still standing, so it's just a little bit of creeps gone and a 2-for-1 exchange.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to know though, Fido, is just how much gold Limus has right now, because he's got double the CS of his counterpart. He's been getting all the plates in the bot lane. The tower's got him bot. He went all for those plates in top lane. So let's just check in and see. Yeah, that is the damage that this Ezreal's at right now. Up by, what, nearly 7,000 gold, and nobody's close.
Yeah, the only closest person is Nectar, right? And Nectar's not the person you want to have gold on this game. You want your poke champions. This is a poke comp. You want Zoe to have gold. You want Varus to have gold. But yeah, at this stage, Limus is king.
Certainly does feel like the best case scenario for an Ezreal to play on, right? You've snowballed early, you've got the tempo, you can really do no wrong, go wherever you like, and you just win the game as a result of that one. Already on that one item spike. Second shouldn't be too far away, and I'm sure once that tier is fully stacked up, you're thinking, how on earth do we control this very elusive champion?
Yeah, man, Shernfire is just putting pressure everywhere. He just runs bot, runs top, runs mid, running for Nectar now. Nectar fails his flash.
That's really awkward there. He's flashed, he's hit the boulder, it's hit absolutely nothing. He's been made to look like a fool as he gets collapsed upon by 3 others.
Yeah, I mean, that was the weak side of the map.
Yeah,
that was the weak side of the map. Nectar trying to get a solo kill on the weak side, never going to go well. Right, and yeah, I think Guro just needs to skip a few more camps. They are on the back foot. He needs to just be there with Asta to retake some vision, to make his laners more comfortable. We're seeing Zoe dropping mid waves. The map is too condensed right now for Mammoth.
Like I say again, we basically touched on this point 5 minutes ago of giving almost too much respect to your opposition. You've let Ground Zero really take this map as a stronghold of their own. They're doing really whatever they like. Here's a plate, there's a tower, there's another one taking top lane now. All these rotating angles, and it feels like their best answer so far has been, let's try and target Kiste, and if anything, burn a flash.
Yeah, Kiste has been the receiver of all the ganks in this game, but hasn't really amounted to enough. Not as much of a lead, or any lead that you'd expect from a Ignite mid Zoe comp. But we do have to say that the most important thing in this game is flashes, right? Because there's a lot of CC, there's a lot of pokes, a lot of random abilities that can hit you, like Zoe Bubble and Varus ult. So we'll see if Mammoth can take advantage of Shernfire's flash being gone and get a pick on him in this mid game.
That is the question right now, because it is still worth noting that Guro has the Herald in his pocket. There's a bit of damage onto Shernfire, who's really overextended his welcome in this jungle. He's been sitting here for such a long time that he's eventually going to get punished and sent backpacking. He's lost 1,000 HP. Let's see then what happens in this mid lane, because Limus just gets to 1v1 and basically outrange the Poke Varus.
Look at the level, Skimmy. Level 9 to level 11. You'd think that's a solo lane Ezreal. Maybe Ezreal top, Ezreal mid. No, that's just a Limus who stood bot lane for about 2 minutes while there was some action in the grub. Shernfire in trouble again.
He certainly is. I mean, I said he overextended his welcome once. He's making it happen twice now. As that goes to the Reign of Varus, but not enough to get the kill. The Chain of Corruption flashed away from, but Darjing found his target and popped him into life. He's been taken out, so it is still to be a fight where Shernfire jumps in again. This man is crazy. But Mammoth has said enough is enough. We have all this engaged. We have all this damage. Let's go in. Darjing, what are you doing?
Dude, Dogzone is just crazy. I mean, you can see that he mains the champion. He's so confident jumping forward, and really that play is just, it kind of fizzles into nothing because of Duck One's miss on a flashless Shermfire with his piercing arrow. Just held it too long. Not sure how that ever misses there, but Shermfire takes a little bit too long to die, but Dogzone does his best to salvage the play. They end up losing the mid tower, but still getting a kill on Bembies is a nice consolation prize for Mammoth.
Well, it certainly is. You know, they're going to have to settle with the fact they've lost all of their outer turrets now, but they can look at this fight and say we had the conviction to go and we're good.
Yeah, look at this, Kimmy. We've got a perfect pick on Shermfire. No ultimate this time, no flash. Complete dead man. Duck One lands the orb, but how do you miss this Varus skew? It's just an unacceptable mistake, but still dodging on the Zoe. Oh, from the other side of the map, just half health, kills Bambi in one shot. Look at that, almost kills Lemus, who's the strongest person on the team. And even playing with fire here at the end, trying to fish for a bubble on Kisse perhaps. Gets the bubble, but no follow-up to be.
You can see that Nectar trying to make something creative happen in the mid lane as well with the leap into action with the knockback, but unable to be found there. And it seems to say that these extended fights may just favor Mammoth with the ability to try and cycle through all these portals, jumping left, right, and center. The Herald about to expire has to finally be used to try and drop their first turret down to at least 50%, but it is still Grand Zero returning to the scene of the crime and saying, well, let's have it again.
Yeah, and I think the thing you have to look out for here is Naba, right? It looks like in a perfect position for a fight here. But however, Mammoth don't have the positioning, right? They have to retake. They're going to be eating a lot of skill shots. As much as we say Zoe and Varus are poke champs, so is Azir, and so is Ezreal in this kind of a draft. And well, they're taking a flash. They're taking a flank approach on Guro.
They certainly are using the rift portals to try and navigate themselves around this one. The Unstoppable comes out a little bit too late there. Seems to be taking a lot of damage right now. The fight still continues. Nectar, he's in mini form, so he's very squishy, but he's still persevering through. Double found for Duck.
Wow.
This is fantastic for the lethality of Avaris. And working really nicely here with the Zoe harassed too. And it's made sure that Ground Zero aren't able to find the victory that they were hoping for.
Yeah, that was very well executed, and I think Rel hasn't even altered there, so that was all Nectar, all Duck One, landing the skill shots. We said they have so much CC. Kisse was stunned for a very long time. They just couldn't move. I'm not sure if he even got the Emperor's Divide off, but that's exactly what the team comp wants to do, you know, just pick off one target, pick off two targets, and disengage.
Yeah, I think I'm really concerned once that second, maybe even 2.5 items come online for both the Zoe and the Varus, because it feels like at that point you've hit as strong as you're going to get for the meantime, but you can certainly ignore how much of a controlling lead Grand Zero have had in this one. And I say that lightly because it feels like they are in a lead, but Mammoth have almost hit this point where it's like, yeah, we realize we are very strong. We do have all the CC, that they are showing a little bit too much disrespect, Grand Zero, in terms of, like, you see Shermfire very aggressively postured in the jungle. Like, get this guy out. We can fight. We can kill.
Yeah, they're playing with confidence, and I think that speaks to the veterancy of Dajong and of Guro. I think they're being very vocal and saying that, look, our champions are about as strong as they can get. Maybe 2 items will be even stronger, but then from that point onwards, we sort of start to struggle to play these team fights. We don't really have a way to kill the tanks, right? The Zoe, not a great tank killer. The lethality Varus, definitely not a tank killer, so they feel like they're on a timer, and they're making it work.
They certainly are. The pressure is on, but they're rising to the challenge. And my only concern will be that once we come out of this pause and back into the action, Baron will be on the cards, and that's when things start to get a little bit wild, right? 20 minutes not too far away. That's really what the game came down to last time. It was a case of Baron baiting until the fight ultimately went their way, and you'd favor Mammoth to take that one with the amount of CC they have.
Yeah, but they don't have much sustained damage. Let's look at the replay first, Kimmy. So we've got Guro in a great position, but he actually doesn't get activated here. It's all Nectar. Gets this knockback. Shermfire tries to disengage, but the Azir is still caught. And Tian somehow was dying. I'm not even sure what he died to, but this Cassante melted. And Duck One, this is... We have to point this out. Like, this is very bad what he's doing, right? This chunk could have invited Ground Zero to still contest the Dragon 3v5 just because of all the cooldowns burned and the low HP on the Varus.
Yeah, certainly taking those auto attack trades like that isn't going to be one that's too favorable. You burnt your cooldowns, your piercing arrows on CD, just run away at this point. Lemus has too much mobility, too much damage to be tricky with it, and they look to try and embarrass you on this occasion. 20 minutes in, like we said before, another dragon picked up, this time by Mammoth, but it is still a very close game in terms of gold. There is no real convincing gold lead, and I don't really know how to frame this one. It feels like a weird day for Grand Zero because you're expecting them to come to this one as the hot favorites, but Mammoth are giving them a really tough task.
Yeah, Mammoth is giving them a run for their money, and it makes you very excited about the future of this roster with Dajong, right? Like, maybe as a player, he's not that much better than EHOP, but he clearly brings so much veterancy, so much agency, a voice that this team needed. Because we said before, Mammoth had the pieces, but it just wasn't coming together. And sometimes a one-player change like that can completely change, the atmosphere in the team and make everybody else step up their game.
It certainly can be. I mean, it's not necessarily as easy as saying it's about their in-game performance. It's much more about what they sort of bring to practice, to breaking down replays, to practicing in general, I suppose, right? All the combination of factors that make them that worthwhile teammate, and ultimately it's working out well for them so far. Now we talk about Kisei receiving a lot of this pressure. He has just picked up the Lich Bane, so he's going to be incredibly strong. You'd imagine that Dajong shouldn't be too far away from getting that one as well, and at that point you think, okay, these mid laners both have the clutch potential.
Yeah, this is definitely a more of a poke build from Kisei with the Lich Bane. I do like Shadow Flame personally on Azir just because the 20% critical strikes actually get changed to 30%. Surefire loses half his health. See you later, mate. And runs away with his tail tucked between his legs. And that's what the Zoe can do, Skimmy. And not even a second item completed just yet. Just the Ludens so far picked up for Dajong. So once he gets his next base off with the Shadow Flame, we could be seeing even bigger chunks.
Yeah, and I think the concern there as well, Fighter, is the fact that Schoenfire is the one with all the magic resistance, and he's still taking that amount of damage, right, even with one item complete. So you're thinking, okay, if that's anybody else, if that's Lemus, he may just get one shot.
Wow, a really nice ward by Asta, didn't get swept, and Groucho, I think they're not on vision. But they are.
But Dajong's found him. Kisei's down to 10% right off the bat. The Baron, once again, I tell you, there is something fishy in the water because they always get charmed into this one. As I say that, in goes Asta doing just that, charming out two. Dajong through the portal and into death. He falls on down. Kisei survives, and a 1v1 takes place between Lemus and Nectar. Nectar about to tick to Mega, and that HP difference could have been the saving grace.
It just felt like Mammoth was a little bit too slow to the play, but Duck1 in trouble as well. 2P coming in from Kisei, he might be dead.
He might be dead. It's a two-man Magnet Storm there from Godot, but he needs damage to complement it. He can't do it all on his own. He'll flash across the wall as his entire team is wiped around him.
I mean, it was just such a perfect play from Dajong, but his team is just not on the same page. If they all committed to this play, how can it get better than that? Azir gets slept in range of the Baron damage, gets put down to 20% HP, and the fight is still lost for Mammoth.
Saving grace maybe the fact that there are Hextech portals to try and get you back to this Baron fight as quickly as you can. You can see that from Mammoth respawning members looking to try and rush to this one, but there is the announcement that the Baron has been picked up, so Grand Zero once again take control of this game and look to try and bridge what was getting like a bit of a dicey game. Look at Kisei's damage. Asta, I mean, he literally got looked at and he just fell on down. These Sand Soldiers are getting it done. Kisei is looking to try and 1v4. He flashes, he dashes, and he nearly takes down Dajong. I'll have to settle for a double kill here as TN TP's in to try and help him on out, but nothing's going to take place here.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a highlight. Oh, Zoe's actually dead. I think he died to the Ezreal ult from Lemus, so resident sniper there from Lemus from downtown getting the kill onto Dajong, and that's all the damage threats really gone from a Mammoth. So it's hard to see how they can stop the siege of the top tower. Might just have to drop it.
They're going to be very reliant now on the cooldown of that piercing arrow, but Shun's not showing any signs of slowing down. Hits the ultimate right in your face, charge it up nice and quickly. Nectar, you are falling on down, but Chain of Corruptions comes on out, and as that expires from all the tenacity, he just walks away.
Yeah, Shenfire walks back into the tower, makes me question his decision-making there, but he's tanky enough to survive, and I'm not sure what happened there, Skibby. I think Varus just WQ'd before anybody was low, right? And he had no damage towards the end of that fight. Asta very nearly going down to the Ezreal ult, and Mammoth end up losing the tower. They try to salvage the play. We said, Skimmy, it's going to be hard to defend that with your main damage threat. So look at this fight, Skimmy, just engage. They have to go on the Azir, but a little bit too slow, and Gudo was standing in the red bush thinking about what to do with his life before moving to this play a little bit too late, and you can't fault Dajong for looking for the angle there. That was really as good as it gets for Zoe. A blind bubble from Fog onto a watered target, and Nectar just one auto attack away from killing Lemus here. Very unlucky. Lots of close calls in this game, but none of the dice rolling in the favor of Mammoth.
Yeah, not in a position, as you say, to really capitalize on that bubble that was found. You could see even when Dajong falls on down, still one more Paddle Star comes out, but it wasn't enough to get the execute right. So nearly just solos the kill and makes it a 1-for-1 trade, but yeah, the positioning wasn't in their favor. And now they've got to deal with the siege. Two lanes pushing at once. Schoenfire leading that charge as he jumps in and finds Asta again. But he'll say, we'll have to settle for the meantime. Baron buff is still there for another 40 seconds. One inhibitor mid laner will fall. The second one getting battered by these inspired cannons. And they're really looking to try and put a bit of a checkmate on this game.
Yeah, just so hard to defend as Mammoth, but Asta's going for it.
He's gone for the flash engage, charms up two to start things off with Guro, also the Magna Sword. Only on to one, despite it being AoE, but his team is dying around him. The Emperor's Divide shoves back Guro from where he came from, and they're just too strong. Lemus wants the MVP, 7 kills as Xayah in game 1, 6 in game 2, and he is going crazy with it. He is actually acting like a tank, ultimate in your face, inside the fountain, padding those damage stats, and looking to try and put a bow on things. It took 30 minutes to close it out in game 1. It will take a little bit quicker this time in game number 2, but the outcome was always going to be Ground Zero's favor. They're looking for that perfect 2-0, maybe not as convincingly as the viewers would have hoped, but it's 3 points nonetheless.
Yeah, Skimmy, and Ground Zero, they try to make it interesting there at the end with the, the Kiste 1v5 play, keeping it fun for the viewers, enjoyable to watch, but they end up walking away with 3 points for this week, Skimmy, so that's a 2-0, exactly what they needed after dropping to Antic and Time Bliss to stay in the running for the best team in the league.
That's exactly right. They definitely tried a few different things in this game, some new drafts, some new ideas, and some new ways to play things out. Ultimately, though, they do get the victory here today, and they close out this best of 2 in a 2-0 fashion. We're going to jump to a quick break, and when we return, we'll get a chance to break down everything that happened just then.